What's going on, folks?
Yes!
Welcome back to the No Hold Thoughts Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Rob.
That's Rob.
And today we are in our podcast studio.
Yes!
All right.
Woo!
This is our first podcast in our podcast studio. We're trying to get the acoustics worked out. So, you know, if you can see this, what I have right here, trying to isolate the sound on the mic and everything. But that's a whole other thing we're going to talk about. Somebody sent us something about Snoop Dogg and his top 10 rappers of all time. It's funny because, what was it, last week we had a discussion about top 10 rappers of all time?
Right.
Did we put Snoop on the list? I can't remember.
No. Snoop Dogg was definitely not on the list.
Okay, we didn't put Snoop on the list. But Snoop revealed his top 10. Right. How do you feel about his top 10? Let's just take a look at it for those who don't know.
Let's take a look at his top 10.
Snoop has on his list Slick Rick.
Who?
Slick Rick. Slick Rick, Ice Cube, LL Cool J, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Ice-T, Too Short, and it says and more.
That's definitely a biased top 10.
Yeah.
That's definitely a biased top 10 because, I mean, I didn't hear you say Biggie. I didn't hear. Yeah, I'm looking at that top 10. It don't say Biggie. You got Slick Rick, Ice Cube. I'm not going to debate that. LL Cool J. I'm not going.
And it has Run from Run DMC.
Run is not in my top 10. I'm not saying that he's bad or trash or anything, but it's top 10. But then you talking different eras.
I said that. I was like, no offense, but my top 10 is not going to have the Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Kool Moe Dees.
But the thing about it is that's what make a rapper should be in the top 10, because even though it's a different era, it should be still like, well, okay, Rakim is not in our era, but at the same time,
I think he's great.
He's definitely like he can squeeze in my top 10.
Yeah, he can make it to my top 10,
but he's not our era.
But he's not my era.
And then you got some people that's got KRS-One. He's not in my top 10. But then you got Coogee Rap. For me, he could creep in my top 10. Coogee Rap. You got people like LL Cool J that's well underrated.
I gotta give LL a lot of respect. A lot of respect. He is too underrated, man. Like LL is the man. LL is the man.
He
and as you
did
said,
it in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and he don't do as much music now.
Yeah, because he's on what's that TV show, making all that money. Yeah,
that TV show, because I don't watch it.
But it's LA something, NCIS LA or something like that. Whatever. CSI.
Yeah.
You can tell how much I watch them shows as well.
Yeah, I don't watch it either. I mean, most of the time. But LL don't get enough credit lyrically. But it's so hard for your top 10. It's extremely hard. But his statement was obvious that, what's his name? Eminem might not be in a lot of people's top 10. But at the same time, like you said, you have to name me 10 rappers. Now, he put Too Short on there. I mean, that's a negative. I mean, for me, I'm not taking away from Too Short. I love Too Short, but I will probably let's just get to the top 10. Let's just break down his. I mean, it's kind of hard to even break down his top 10 because.
It's a bias
top 10. It's everybody that's pretty much from the West Coast. You know what I mean? But for me,
and he has a response. I guess he's got a response for us before we even. It says a lot of niggas been crying about me leaving people off my top 10 without. even seeing, it was a period, that's why, without, was that a comma, whatever, without even seeing my ish, so here it is, FYI, notice how none of my peers or MCs after me or on the list respect you. Geez, is what I was taught. If you offended, you'll get over it. If I left you off if over it.
Yeah, that's getting too small, bro. I can't see that. That's too small.
I'm not even on this one.
Right.
Okay.
So, like, he pretty much just simply saying, like, anybody that was in the game before me, that's who pretty much you give the credit to. So anybody that came after him or during his time, he not on there. Like, they not on there. So that's probably why he don't have a Tupac, he don't have a Biggie Smalls on there and stuff like that. But, that's the way he was taught.
Top 10 MCs.
That's how.
Not top 10 from when you were born.
Right.
If you've heard somebody and they belong and they were better than Too Short,
right,
or KRS-One,
give them their
or
credit.
LL Cool J, give them their credit.
Give them their credit.
As you said, it is his list. He's allowed to pick whatever he wants. But I mean, have a legitimate list at least. Like,
I'm going to say
you're already saying that's like, Raheem, who do you think the best basketball players of all time? Well, since they didn't play for the Sixers,
right,
they don't belong on my list.
Well, you already know that. Like, me and you had those arguments all the time when people say who the greatest running back of all time. A lot of people say, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. And I don't have a debate. I don't have an argument about that. Mm-hmm. Whatever you decide who the best is, that's your decision. That's your opinion. But at the same time, don't hit me with Barry had that offensive line. He didn't. Emmitt Smith don't choose who he going to go to the team that he go to. He just entered the draft, and it's a team that'll pick him. Somebody could have moved up in the draft. Cowboys could have moved out the first round. There's so many things. Just because he landed on the Cowboys. So you cannot discredit somebody because they went into a better situation than somebody else. So Snoop, just because I'm not from the West Coast, I do have West Coast rappers. Are they in my top 10? Probably not. You know what I mean? And I'm here and I'm willing to talk about my top 10.
I say your top 10.
Okay. In no order because it's not fair.
It's too hard.
That's way too difficult. I'm going to
something
say
new we're doing on Old Thoughts. We going all of this.
Yeah,
we can always go back to it, but I want to write this down.
Yeah,
so as you're talking, I won't forget.
Okay.
In no particular order.
No particular order. I'm going to say Biggie, Tupac. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Nas. Mm-hmm. That's 3. I'm going to say Jadakiss. Ah, man, that's 4. Man, I'm going to say Styles. I'm going to say Styles. I'm going to say Shine. Shine. I know I'm missing some.
That's 6.
That's 6. DMX. Dang, on the West Coast, I'm trying to run them all up and down.
What about your boy Jeezy?
Nah, not right now. It's a little too soon for Jeezy right now.
You only got 3. You only got 3 left.
I know. I'm going to say maybe. Man, it's tough. This is tough. Okay, Rick Ross. Jay-Z. And my last one, and I don't care what nobody say. This is my last one, right? Ja Rule. And then anybody.
That's your top 10 MCs of all time.
That's my top 10 MCs of all time.
All right. So.
My top 10. I didn't say we not talking
So
about.
we gonna pick your list apart. Then I'm gonna get my top 10 and you can get my list. So Biggie certified.
Certified.
Pop certified.
Certified.
Nas certified.
Certified.
Kiss is a bias. So
yeah, I'm a huge Kiss fan.
As a bias, so Kiss is a bias.
Yeah, it's a bias. I mean,
then that's the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then you get into the
Yeah.
You got Styles. SP the Ghost.
The Ghost.
Gangsta and the Gentleman.
Yeah, Gangsta and the Gentleman, classic. That's stamp, classic.
And would you say what was it? Was it Extraordinary Gangsta? Was it Super Gangsta Extraordinary Gentleman?
Yeah.
I would give that. That's a thumbs up too.
Yeah.
And then the mixtapes with who was the mixtapes? Was it
Hold up, and then you don't exclude the Locks albums
as well. The Locks albums as well.
You gotta count the Locks albums.
Do you really have to count the Locks albums?
Well, because he had solos and he did like a lot of that stuff was like them creating music together. So the Locks was like the Locks is the
So
Locks.
you had Kiss, you have Styles,
Right.
And you talk about the Locks,
Right.
You have Kiss,
And Styles.
you have Styles,
Yep.
And you talk about the Locks,
Yep.
You have Kiss,
Yep.
who was 1/3
Okay.
of the Locks.
Okay.
You have Styles, who was 1/3 of the Locks.
Yep.
So that's 2/3 of the Locks.
That's 2. Yep.
In your top 10 of all time.
Yep.
Okay, so no need to say nothing else. Then you have Shine.
Sean Poe.
You've been saying this for years.
Yes, sir.
Probably since I met you.
Yes.
About this Shine guy.
If I could start from scratch, I sound with Def Jam. Nah, as I'm saying, Puff the best man, cause I'm on Bad Boys, whether it be a bad man. Put more than pits than Brad, man. Can't dodge bullets, too bad, man. Yeah, that's definitely, I love Sean. And if I had to choose, if I had to put him in order, Sean would definitely be in my top 5.
Shine.
If I had to put him in, yes. If I had to put him in order, Sean would definitely be in my top.
Wow.
I'm a huge Sean fan.
Yeah,
A lot of people sleep on him because people say he sounds like Biggie. That's the only reason. What? That boy lyrically was fire. He was fire. Sean is fire. Like, I'm not sitting up here saying that he, I'm not saying that he was better than Biggie or anything, but people slept on
you're
him.
saying he's better than one of these people because you say he's going in your top 5.
Yeah.
So let's get the DMX.
DMX. Just stamp.
There's nothing against him. That's another certified check.
That's a stamp.
That's a blue check. If we was on what is it, Twitter?
Yeah, it's,
Instagram. That's
But
a
you know
blue
what?
check.
I'm a little disappointed because he definitely wouldn't be in my top 5 too. DMX.
He wouldn't be.
He would be in my
Would
top
be,
5.
okay. Yeah.
Like if I put him in order, like he's definitely in my top 5.
Rick Ross. I'm a Rick Ross fan, but top 10.
Man, that was like I was kind of reaching a little
I
bit.
felt he was kind of reaching.
I was kind of reaching a little bit. I mean, it's hard because it's people that I do like.
Now, what is it about Rick Ross that puts him in the top 10?
Consistency. Consistency. He came out, he showed you something, and he continued with it from the start to finish. He said, I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. And it wasn't even like at that moment that he was the boss, but he created that. And he consistently, he's been one of the most consistent rappers ever in rap. Ever. Ever. That spitting the lyrics, still got mixtapes, still was doing features. It's people that Rick Ross did features with. I know this don't have nothing to do with it, but he did features with people for free. You know what I mean? Because he wanted to elevate somebody's career.
Yeah, man, my man Kiss did the same thing.
I know.
I done came straight off the plane to another man's session to spit pain and he didn't charge him a thing.
Yeah, no, that's a fact with Kiss too. That's a fact with Kiss. I mean, some people are just, you know, Ross. Yeah, he's a down south rapper. I love Ross. I love his energy. I love his confidence. I love the consistency with Ross. His lyrics is not like, his lyrics is point blank. Like, it's not like he come with a bunch of metaphors like Kiss. You know, I would not compare the two, but Ross had bars. Like, Ross put those bars together, and I mean, it's other people that had bars too, but at the same time, it's still early in the game. You know what I mean? But Ross, I done listened to all Ross albums, every last one of them, and some is better than others, obviously. Some I enjoy more than others, but yeah, definitely Ross.
So we got Jay-Z. I don't think there's need to talk about Hov.
Jay-Z, it is for me. I'm not really a Jay-Z fan.
He's in the top 10, so
yeah, no, he's definitely top 10. But you know, you give credit where credit's due.
Got to.
I think a lot of people pick Jay-Z because that's what the world say. You know what I mean? Jay is lyrically a problem. Like he do put those bars together, but at the same time, it's just like it's not like I'm discrediting him.
Sound like you kind of discrediting
I am, but I'm not trying
so.
to. I am, but it don't be fair because a lot of people just like things about Jay instead of, like, I mean, when I say things, it's like the image that he was portraying when he first came into the game. And then it was like people just jumped onto that, and it was just like, oh, well, he the best. And then, you know, once you get the stamp of you the best.
Not necessarily, because he get the stamp of he the best. But
he got consistency
too. But he still, I'm about to say, but he still was consistent. Like he still got some. He just like you said about Rick Ross, biggest balls. Jay-Z brought, and we from Philly,
right? So
Jay-Z brought in some dudes that we was listening to because we from the area, and he put them on the main stage.
I think with me and Jay, it's just that people made me mad with Jay. It's not that Jay personally. It's just that people, because people don't hear nobody else when Jay-Z was out. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, it's Jay. It's Jay. Jay, yo, you heard that joint that Jay was on?
That's how it's supposed to be.
And I think that was just like,
that's why he belongs in the top 10.
No, he definitely belongs in the top 10. You know what I mean? But I wanted to express that.
Now we gotta get to your wild card, your last pick, Mr. Irrelevant, as if it was the NFL.
And I don't care, because the thing about it is, once again, Ja Rule,
top 10 MCs.
Yes.
Or your favorite MCs?
No, he's my top 10 MC. And I don't care what nobody say. Ja Rule been putting it together. He might not be your lyrical rapper, but you can like people, like you're gonna hear people say, like how we was talking about KRS-One. KRS-One, people like him like lyrically, but that's not our thing. Ja Rule brought something totally different to the game. It's that singing. What everybody doing now? The melody rap. Ja Rule was doing it in the 90s.
He was, but
and he was doing it early 2000s. He called it gospel rap. That's how he changed the game when he did that, and I loved it.
The thing about Ja, and I know it's hard for me to separate the fact that 50 came in, took his style, and he pushed him to the side. Like,
yeah,
Ja Rule was not that guy after 50 came. So that's just like, I feel like when we always talk sports, so I feel like rap is a contact sport too.
Right.
He came in, took the style away from him, and was that dude on the top now. So it's like you can't be in the top 10 because somebody punked you for your spot. How was Ja in the top 10 but not 50?
I think well, because for one, Ja was there first, long before 50 came along and started all of the drama.
But he did like Ja's catalog is nothing compared to Get Rich or Die Trying. Everybody in America had that Get Rich. When 50 dropped that Get Rich or Die Trying, that was the game was on smash with G Unit.
Did you ever hear Ja Rule album?
I've heard Ja Rule. No, I'm not. It doesn't even matter. The impact, you can't compare the impact that Get Rich or Die Trying.
That's a fact.
Like that was the album. Like that was.
Let me ask you this question: Did 50 Cent album? I think 50 Cent album went that far because he was shy. That was the image that he carried along. It wasn't because of the music. It was more so
because of the music.
No, the music was, but I'm saying that's what brought people. That's what brought people.
Yeah, but you talking about.
And he had Dre too, like the best.
Yeah, he had. There's a few people with Dre that aren't on his list. That had Dre. Not everybody who had Dre wasn't on his list. Like Dre's production, everything came together perfectly. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, 50 did his thing because he put out an album, and as anticipated as it was, it could have flopped. People had flops. That thing came out. I know that album, front to back, back to front, the middle, like that was the album. Like I was listening to that till my ears bleed, and I didn't give a damn about him getting shot.
Right. Well, that was the first thing because you remember he started like jacking people, like jacking people beats, like coming at people. That's how he came. He forced his way in. So I do like, and he did shut Ja Rule down. Like Ja Rule can like not give him credit or whatever, and then by him like coming at Ja, then you had him coming at Ja, and then they got indicted with the whole,
and that's when it all went down.
And then it really went down.
So just like it was a perfect mix for 50, it was like a perfect bad mix for Ja.
But people, that's the thing. How I look at it, like, and that's why I gotta give Jay-Z credit to a degree. It's further than lyrics. Like I just like what he brought to the game, but it makes me mad when people do things like they just, oh man, did you hear that new Jay joint? And then sometimes Jay don't even be the best one on there. Like when it came to certain songs and it'd be a bunch of people on there, Jay really don't be having the best verse on there, but people would say it because Jay is Jay. Instead of, some people don't even listen to the words. They just be like, oh man, you know that new Jay-Z album? That joint crazy. I'm not saying that it's not fire, but at the same time, bro, you're not even listening to it. You're not listening to the words. I mean, and then you want to compare, like, okay, now we're talking about like a particular song, and he got the joint when Reservoir Dogs came out. His verse was howling. Everybody spit fire on that joint. I mean, it was Jay and he went last. So, and then what was the other one? It's called Black Eye. Everybody on there spit fire on there, but then it was just like he said, "Wake up and spit, spit something ghetto name. What up, Will Smith number?" After he said that, everything else was regular. How I'm not, it was just it was hot, but it wasn't like
it seemed like he got an issue with Jay-Z.
I'm just saying, like a lot of people is so like they don't give other people chances.
You gave Ja Rule a chance.
Yeah, because I like Ja. I like Ja. Ja changed the game. Ja made it okay to have a rap voice and sing on the track. He brought that to the game. He changed the game with that. Jay changed the game too, because that's why we was wearing jerseys. That's why we was wearing button-ups. That's why these young boys walking around here with PZ heads.
No, all right, let's get.
You know what I mean? Like Jay did
my top 10. Now I put some check marks next to some of the ones you said because I'm not even gonna change it up. So I already got Big, Pac, Nas, Kiss, DMX, Jay-Z. So I need 4 more.
4 more.
This is gonna be difficult.
Yeah, it is tough.
I got Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I got Drake.
Okay. Drake. Lil Wayne and Drake. Lil Wayne and Drake.
All time.
Lil Uzi.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shout out to Lil Uzi.
Don't do that. Jeez.
Still up and coming.
All time.
All time.
This.
All time. I mean, you got some rappers out there. I mean, think of the South.
That's how I got one.
I mean, because the South took a lot of it. Then you got to think of West. So you got. I mean, I don't know if how you think about Q, how you think about L, how you think about Snoop. Damn, Snoop. That's another thing.
Top 10.
Top 10. That's tough. Beans. I know people that got Beans in their top 10. That's tough.
You know what? I'm gonna put them in there.
Beans.
I'm gonna put Fab in there.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna put Fab in there.
You need one more.
And my last one going to be kind of like your last one.
Like a wild card?
A wild card.
Uh-oh.
Listen to this. I'm putting T-Pain. Putting T-Pain in there.
T-Pain not even a rapper.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, he's like what a Ja Rule is.
Now, when you want to talk about changing the game,
he definitely changed the game. He changed the game.
Like, I know he ain't a rapper, but right. It's like when I once you said Ja Rule and you said he changed the game, I'm like, you know what? You gotta give T-Pain credit. Even if y'all like, oh, Raheem, T-Pain don't belong in the list. Guess what? I'm putting him on the list because you gotta give T-Pain credit, man. Yeah. That dude, you talking about? He got some albums. And he spits some fire, and he changes the reason he rapped the way he rapped back then is the reason why these rappers cannot have lyrics now. Not saying he didn't have lyrics, but the reason these rappers cannot have lyrics now and have hit albums.
Right.
And have these young bulls out here fiending. Like, I'm not going to diss any names or anything like that, but there's certain rappers I be hearing these young bulls like, yo, you got to hear such and such, and I'm like, who? And then I listen to it, and I'm like, this dude is fucking trash. Like,
it sounds like you're trying to say Lil Durk.
No. Whoa. I don't have a problem with Lil Durk. I don't have a problem with Lil Durk. So, I mean, I dissected your list.
Okay. So, if you Lil Wayne, I can't argue that. I can't.
Sorry about that first. Like, ESPN.
I can't argue the Lil Wayne.
No.
I can't argue that. I would not argue that because Lil Wayne, when we talk about consistency, he's been consistent. Only time he was not consistent is when he was kind of going through it with Baby.
But 07 Lil Wayne,
yeah, that was
the greatest rapper of all time.
Yeah,
07 Lil Wayne was smashing.
That Carter 1 came out, I was like, damn. But when that Carter 2 hit out, that Carter 2 I could put up against a lot of albums. I could put up against. And people don't even dig it. When I say that, I can put that Carter 2 up against a lot of albums. Like lyrically and like song for song, I can put it up against a lot.
And then the Carter 3.
The Carter 3
was a commercial thing.
Right, that's what I was about to say. He kind of took but that's when the piano start coming up.
But guess what? It don't matter. He did what he had to do.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna argue Lil Wayne. Drake. Drake, to me, is like he's definitely like one of the best rappers when it comes to commercial rap. But his music to me is too like glossy. Like I care less about some of the stuff that he talking about. Like he's more of a like he don't talk about like the struggle, like how my list talk about.
He can't. He got to talk about what he had.
And that's why he's not in my top 5. I mean, my top 10.
He might be in my top 5.
Yeah, but Drake.
He might be in my top 5.
I like a lot of songs for Drake.
That dude can put it together. Like he might be in my top 3. Like I don't know, Drake is fine. Drake is excellent. Like
I'm not going to say like Drake is.
And he's a game changer. Like.
Drake is a game changer.
He might.
I mean, he did a lot.
No disrespect to everybody on the list, but he might be the biggest game changer out of everybody because I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I am.
You say the biggest.
The biggest.
And Jay-Z is the biggest one.
No,
on top.
Drake is the biggest.
No,
the game changer.
What did he change?
No. I'm saying like he has the ability to be the biggest game changer.
Oh, that's the difference.
I mean, but he's still at that level. Stop. He's still at that level. I was watching it on podcast. Who was it? It was Steve Stout and I think it was Russ were talking. And they were talking about if Drake goes independent, it's over for the game. I've never heard that before. And I didn't get a chance to fully dive deep into it. But you talk about an artist, one of his contemporaries saying that, and somebody who's in the music game, both saying that. There's got to be a reason for it. There's got to be a reason for it.
Well,
and even before, when he signed to Young Money, everybody was like, nah, Drake don't need to sign to a label. If Drake stays independent, he's got the game on smash.
Now that's a fact. Like a lot of people was just feeling like Drake.
And then he signed to Young Money, and that got other niggas jobs.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm not gonna lie. Like Drake did, like when it comes to, he was like the LeBron. He already had like the sponsors and everything like kind of crowded around him before.
And guess what? Just like LeBron, all he did was meet expectations.
Yeah, I mean,
all he did.
And this was before the deal. This was before the deal. You know what I mean? So, but I'm just not like a huge Drake fan because I'm more so I can say that I don't relate to what he said. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going with that. But I mean, that's go ahead. That's our.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fab.
I mean, Fab is Fab. Like,
No,
Fab is Fab.
Fab is another one that a lot of people slept on.
Yeah.
But lyrically, I can put him up against anybody. Anybody. That's why he was able to go up against Jadakiss on Instagram. It doesn't matter if he won or lost. He can stand. Fab is the only rapper that I believe that can go into battle rap. He could go into the URL, and I'm not saying that he will win, but I'm saying that he can hold.
Whoa. What about Kiss?
Kiss can go in there.
Kiss can go in there.
Okay, Kiss can go in there. It's not too many. Let's just say